Hey, I'm Kayla Glaze, and I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, musician, music producer, and member of Adam's private mentorship, the Billboard 500 Club. You're here on the Music Industry Contact YouTube channel where we do in-depth breakdowns of hit songs. In today's video, I'm going to be analyzing the song Kidult by 17. Hopefully I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. If you didn't already know, we cannot monetize these videos here, so our Patreon Golden Ear community means the world to us. Over on our Patreon, we have more exclusive content only found there, including early access to videos as well as polls, so you can help us select the next song to break down. If you've been supporting our channel over on our Patreon, we just want to say thank you so much. If you haven't yet, click the link in the description and pledge to join us there. Without further ado, let's get into Kidult by 17. Now, before I start this song, I just want to say that I've never heard this song or watched this music video, so this will be a true first-time reaction to hearing the song for the first time and seeing the music video for the first time. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to stop it there and I'm going to break this down starting at the beginning. I'm going to go from the intro all the way through the first chorus. First off, I just want to say I didn't know this was going to be a live performance video. I thought it was going to be a music video. When it comes to live performances, it can either be really great or really rough. Honestly, I think they did a pretty good job for performing this live. If you've never performed live before, it's a lot harder than people think it is. There are a lot of technicalities that actually go into it, like making sure you can hear yourself. So I just want to say, first of all, vocally, I think they actually did a pretty good job with this live performance. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the intro. So the intro is pretty minimal. It comes in with this really beautiful piano, which right when it started, I could immediately tell that this song was going to be a ballad vibe solely because of this piano that came in at the intro. Now, what I've noticed about hit songs is most of the time the intros are around 10 to 12 seconds. They're pretty short. This one is around 16 seconds, so it's just a little bit longer than that. But they keep it pretty minimal, which is also very typical with these hit songs. Now, as far as the effects go on this piano, honestly, it doesn't seem like there are many effects on it. It just feels like a pretty classic, maybe like a Rhodes piano. It's really pretty. It might have a slight reverb on it, but it's actually pretty simple. Now let's listen to that intro through the first verse and see if anything changes. Okay, that's getting into the pre-chorus, so I'm going to stop it really quick and just talk about this first verse really quick. Before I get into the verse, I also just want to note that they also have these nice little, almost like a tom drum sound, kind of faded in the background at the very end of this intro that leads into this first verse. And then they actually have a really cool vocal transition that happens at the beginning of this first verse to bring in the verse. It sounds like the high frequencies in the EQ have been cut off of it to where it's slightly muffled. And then that segues straight into the first verse vocal that is actually a lot more upfront. And I think it really sets up this first verse well to come in because this intro kind of just has these little subtle things happening in the background. And that little vocal part that comes in is also kind of in the background. So then when the first verse comes in, that vocal is up front and it shines right away. Now, getting into this first verse melody, I definitely noticed a lot of repetition happening in this first verse. They're repeating this one vocal melody pretty much every time they go into a new phrase in this verse. That vocal melody is ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da. So I'm going to just play through it again really quick so you can hear that repetition that's happening on the beginning of all of those phrases. Second time. Third time. Fourth time. So on that first section of the first verse, they definitely have a lot of repetition going on with that phrase, like I said. And then they change it up in this second section of this first verse. They definitely change it up melodically in this second section by going up pitch-wise. So this first section of the first verse is actually kind of lower toned, and then they jump up into these higher pitches. A lot of times these artists will change things up every 4 bars in a song. So you can see that in this verse where they have, these 4 bars of this one melody happening, and then they totally change it up on the second section of this first verse. Now, as far as the production goes in this verse, something I think is cool is that little vocal sound that happened right before the first verse came in. They're actually incorporating that into this verse, and it's kind of going in and out of the verse, which I think is cool and adds a little bit of flavor to this verse. As far as the percussion in this verse, it's pretty simple. It's not really like a huge beat, obviously, because this is definitely more of like a ballad R&B feeling song. It feels like it has a little bit of trap elements to it, but for the most part, it just feels kind of like a simple R&B type of electronic beat to me. And on the second section of this first verse, they actually pick that percussion up just a little bit. So dynamically, they're kind of going from this really soft place and they're bringing it up just slightly on this second section of that first verse, as their vocals also raise up to that higher pitch. Now, I'm just going to listen through the second part of this first verse into the pre-chorus just to see how things change. Okay, I'm going to stop it there really quick and just talk about this pre-chorus. So production-wise, going into this pre-chorus, they drop out. And then it kind of sounds like they have a little bit of a kick drum that is underneath the surface in this section. So it's not really in the forefront, but it's still there and it's felt. But all the other percussion drops out. And when it comes to these hit songs, it's very common, very typical to go into a dropout for a pre-chorus. So they're definitely doing that in this pre-chorus where they're pretty much completely dropping out and creating this really beautiful, emotional vocal moment that is then going to build up slightly and then go into this really big, powerful chorus. The pre-chorus is kind of like the transitional section in the song that bridges that verse to the chorus. So a lot of times in the verses of these songs, the verses are where the story is told. It's where the scene is set. And they're definitely telling the story in these verses with their lyrics. They're using a lot of descriptive words to describe what's happening between this person and this person. And then when they get to the pre-chorus, they're using this pre-chorus transitional section of the song to say, okay, this is kind of how I've been feeling in this verse, but this is who you are to me, even though I do feel this way. And then when they get to the chorus, they're expressing their main point in the chorus, which is very common to do. So just to recap, verses tell the story, be descriptive about it. Describe what's happening, set the scene in the listener's mind. Pre-chorus, use that to lyrically transition into the main point that you want to express in the chorus. Okay, so I'm just gonna break down this first chorus really quick. Now, vocally, they're definitely going up even further in this chorus, and that really helps to lift this chorus up and to make it feel like the biggest section of the song. Same thing with the instrumentation and especially with the percussion in this chorus. Like I said, the first verse had very minimal percussion. The pre-chorus was kind of a dropout, very minimal drums. This comes in with like huge pop feeling drum kit. And that definitely helps to give the chorus the lift that it needs production-wise for it to feel like the biggest and most felt section in the song. Now, I don't really have a lot to say about the vocal melodies in the chorus. They're doing some slight repetition in this chorus, but not a whole lot of it. I personally would have loved to hear a little bit more repetition in this chorus because I feel like a little bit more repetition would help for this chorus to be solidified in my mind as a listener. Now I'm going to listen to the second verse through the second chorus just to see if anything changes. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there really quick. Okay, so the only production difference I really noticed when this second verse came in versus the first verse is that the second verse comes in with some snaps. Not much of a change, honestly, production-wise. It kind of goes back into that soft R&B pop feeling beat. So this second verse is different vocally from the first verse as far as the melodies that they're doing. There's a little bit of repetition happening, kind of like in the first verse. One thing I really want to note about this second verse, man, a couple of these guys can sing for real. This guy in the second verse, I'm going to play it here really quick. But when he started singing his part, I was like, dang, like this guy can sing. Woo! That is so freaking impressive. I mean, I can't do that. I'm just saying that is so impressive, that run that he does and then going up into that high note. I was like, woo. And especially to do that in a live performance, that is so impressive. Okay, I'm not really going to go into the second pre-chorus and second chorus because they're honestly very similar to the first pre-chorus and first chorus. So I'm just going to listen to the bridge really quick and then focus on that. Okay, I'm not going to go through the last chorus really quick. I'm going to focus on this bridge. So as far as song structure goes, I would describe the bridge as the climax of the song. So in the choruses, you're kind of stating the main point that you want to make in the song. I would describe the bridge as the section of the song where you're almost like hammering that point. You're like taking that point that you're trying to make in the chorus to the next level in the bridge. So it's typically a very climactic section. That doesn't necessarily mean that the production in the bridge has to be super climactic. A lot of bridges actually drop out in these hit songs. This one doesn't though. This one, the dynamics and the energy actually stay up here after that second chorus. And usually the bridge is the section of the song, especially in these hit songs that I've noticed, it is where these artists will introduce an entirely new section of the song that has not been heard at all throughout the rest of the song. So they're introducing something different, unique, production-wise, melody-wise that you haven't heard yet to keep you engaged through the rest of the song. So something else that I want to note about this bridge is they're actually hitting a power of 3 in this bridge. A power of 3 is when you repeat 3 melodic phrases that are exactly the same, one after the other, and then you change to something else on the 4th phrase. So I'm just going to play through this and point out to you where they're doing these 3 phrases that are exactly the same that they're repeating. Change on the 4th one. You can hear that they're doing the power of 3 on that. Oh, 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 and then they changed it on the 4th one. Now in the second half of this bridge, they started out the same as the first half of that bridge, but then they go into a big vocal moment that really shines to lead into the last chorus. This is very common with these hit songs. A lot of times there will be kind of like a big vocal moment at the end of the bridge that will help to transition into the last chorus and really make it stand out from the 2 previous choruses. So let's listen to this bridge one more time into the last chorus, and then I'll break down the last chorus. Vocal moment right here. Okay, so you can hear how he had this really huge vocal moment at the end of this bridge and how it set up that last chorus to come in really nicely. Something I want to take note of though with this last chorus is instead of going back into just that huge drum beat like they did in the previous 2 choruses, they actually completely dropped the drums out at the beginning of this last chorus, which honestly, in my opinion, made the vocals really shine for this last chorus because that's the main thing you're hearing. And then they kind of built it up a little bit drum-wise and brought that full beat back in to finish off the last chorus. But you can also hear where they have some vocal ad-libs happening in this last chorus. This is very common in hit songs as well. Typically to make the last chorus feel like the biggest chorus in the song, which is usually how it is in these hit songs. The last chorus is usually the biggest chorus in the song. A lot of times that's when these artists will introduce vocal ad-libs, which are those little vocal moments you're hearing in between the main vocal phrases that are happening in that last chorus. And those vocal ad-libs are not in the two previous choruses. So I'm just going to play through the chorus one more time so that you can hear those vocal ad-lib moments, and then we'll finish this off. You can hear him in the background. Yeah! Okay, so you could kind of hear those vocal ad-libs he's doing in the background where he's going, yeah! And then he's singing Stay Here With Me high in the background, and then towards the end of this chorus, he's going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are vocal ad-libs, and it really helps to lift that last chorus and make it feel like the biggest chorus of the song and to have the song go out with a bang. So before I give you my final thoughts on the song, I just wanted to say thank you so much for checking out my breakdown of Kidult by 17. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more. Honestly, I don't have much else to say about this song. I feel like I really dove into a lot of it, especially production-wise, song structure-wise. I don't know that this will be a song that I will listen to more than once. To me, it definitely sounded like and felt like a really beautiful, emotional ballad of a song. But I don't know that any part of it really stuck with me enough to where I would listen to this multiple times. But I also don't listen to ballads very often, so that's probably why. If you're a singer, songwriter, artist, musician, music producer, and you are looking for an amazing community to be a part of where you can connect with and collaborate with other incredible artists, singers, songwriters, musicians, producers, or if you're wanting to receive really awesome advice from legitimate music industry professionals who have years of experience in the music industry, then I would love to invite you to apply to join me in the Billboard 500 Club. If you're looking to find a community of talented people to create hit songs with, or mentorship when it comes to how to navigate the music industry successfully, then I would highly recommend heading over to the billboard500.com and applying for the private club. We have over 70 mentors who are some of the most successful people in the music industry, teaching up-and-comers just like yourself. But don't wait too long because there's limited capacity. Once again, my name is Kayla Glaze, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.